This is Fatma. I met her at a refugee camp in northern Lebanon, and I was actually about to leave the camp with my team, and she caught my eye. We made eye contact, and she asked, "Could I have a minute?" So I told my team to wait for me, and I followed her to her, I guess you would call this a shelter. As you can see a little bit of it, her husband built this with scrap pieces of wood and scrap pieces of metal he could find around the area that they were in. And it was freezing. I mean, you could feel the gusts of wind coming in through the cracks, through the doors, and the two of us were rubbing our hands just to stay warm while we spoke. Fatima told me about the terrifying journey that her and her family made, fleeing Idlib and making their way to Lebanon. And she expressed so much concern and fear for her children, for their future, not knowing when they would be able to go back home or to leave Lebanon or how they were going to make ends meet. Fatma's son that you see sitting on her lap has heart problems, and they really just couldn't afford both medicine and food for the family. So she told me one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever heard. She said that when they can't afford both medicine and food, she ties scarves around her boys' bellies at night so they don't wake up crying because they're hungry. Fatma showed vulnerability in its rarest form, but she also showed me a degree of resilience and determination that I've never seen before. Of all the people I have met in my time working with the World Food Program, Fatma touched me most. I will never forget her, and I'll never forget this day. I ended up spending about an hour with her, talking together, crying together, and until today, we stay in touch, and I check in on her from time to time. I just hope that for every other refugee in the world, people who have gone through the terrifying journey that Fatma, her husband, and her family have gone through, I just hope that they find peace where they are, and that everyone who has been forced to leave their country can return safely and with dignity.